Welcome to the video. In this video, we'll see some ways of adding the custom style to the Tailwind system. And I have some basic setup already over here. I have few elements over here where we will add our custom style. And I am using React in my this project, but you can use any other framework that supports Tailwind. uh, React is really doesn't matter. The only thing we will be focusing on the Tailwind and how we gonna add the custom style to it. Okay, so let's begin. All right, so the first way we can add the custom style is from this tailwind.config.js file, and you will get this file when you install the Tailwind, and here you can add the theme. Okay, so whatever theme you want for your project you can add through this file from this uh, theme property. Okay, all right, so how we can do that? So let's say you want to add different colors to your theme, okay, for your project. Then you can simply say here colors, and then you provide the it as an object. You have to have comma over here to remove that error, and here you can add the name for your color. Let's say your name for the color is my color, so we have this custom color, my color, and you can provide the color code for your uh, color. So let's say this is 00FF00, and this has is important, so you don't forget about that also. All right, now if you do that and if you save it, you can add that newly created color to your theme over here by saying class name and then adding, like, let's say bz my color, and if you save it you're gonna get that color on your background, right? Okay, and the one thing that we have to remember is now if I want to do something like text red 500, which is kind of default uh, Tailwind theme color, we cannot do that because the Tailwind have removed this red 500 from their system because we added our one theme color, right? So if you want the ability of adding the your theme but also be able to use the your custom, or not the custom but the default theme from the Tailwind color system, then you have to add these colors within this extend property. Okay, so what I mean by that, if you remove from here, okay, and then if you put it over here, the same thing, now suddenly you can use this text red 500. Now this is also you can use it, not only this, any other default Tailwind color you can use in your project because we extended it, right? We didn't add the only our theme, but we want to extend it. Okay, that's only the difference of putting the color outside of this extend and inside this extend. And when this is useful is if you are working with the multiple developer and you want the closed system, you don't want to somebody using the color outside of your theme, right? So then in that scenario you can use the other the color theme over here outside of this extend. But if you do not mind of using any other color, then you can just extend it. Okay, for now I will leave it on the extend, but you got the idea. Okay, it depends on your project, whichever you like, so or how you want to set up, you can set up that way. Okay, and the other way you can provide the color here is maybe you have a color that have different shades, like maybe let's say you have want to provide the gray color and you have your one shade of gray color or something like that. You also can do something. Let me just remove this, and you can provide it as an object over here and then say 100. Maybe the 100 is lightest or something like that, not you can also give the name also, right? Okay, li gst light, lightest or something. Okay, it should not be 100 also, but you can provide 100 and you can give one color to it, and then maybe you have a different color over here, something like that, and you can say, let's say ff. Okay, just simple color. And now how you can use this color is similar way. Over here you can just come over here, and to the my color you can just provide this dash, and between this color 100 or 200, whatever you like, you can choose it, and that color will be added. Okay, let me remove this text red hundreds. Okay, all right. So these are the way you can add the color style, your custom color, to the Tailwind system. Okay, not only the color, but you can add many other things to, or style to, this theme. Okay, so the other example if I have to give is maybe, let's say background image. Okay, back ground image is right here. Okay, so in background image you have to provide that as an object similar to this color, and then you have to provide the name for your background image. So let's say bg peak or something, whatever you like. Okay, and choose your name. And let's say busy peak, what do you want to add, something like that, maybe url. You know the css, right? So whatever color the background image you want to provide, you can provide like this. And you can just add here your file name. So I have one file over here. Let me just give it that name over here, tailwind.png or something maybe. And how you can use this is, in your application is, you can remove this color, my color 100, and then add that bg peak or something like that. Okay, if you do something like this, you can get their background image, right? So you are getting here. Okay, that's how you can provide the custom background image you can add through this theme. Not only the picture, but also you can provide something like busy, let's say what should I give the name? Let's say gradient. Okay, gradient. Okay, so because I'm going to use the gradients, but you have to provide it as a string. So you just say linear gradient, something like that. And you can also say something like to top. So gradient gonna move from bottom to top, and maybe you have a red color and then blue color, right? So I created this gradient. We can add it through this theme from the background image, and we provide them like that, and you can use that over here. Let's remove this by bg peak and use this our bg gradient. What name I give it? Let me check. Okay, gradient. Okay, if I save it, so I have a gradient over here. Okay, so that's how you can add the background image from this theme. Okay, so if you ask me why we want to do like that, because we just using the simple Tailwind classes like maybe like busy gradient to top, and maybe gradient, not the gradient, but from, you can provide red maybe 500 to blue, right? Blue 500. If you simply do this also, you can add the gradient, right? Just using these classes that Tailwind provide. But why would we want to add background image like this? Because if you are using the same component, similar component that has similar gradient, and then you do not want to add repeat yourself, right? Add multiple classes to the all of the your component. Then maybe you just wanna add that if you are using your gradient all over your project, then you just simply add that gradient class over here like this, and then you can use simply remove all of these classes and just simply use that one class, right? uh, bg gradient. Okay, now you don't have to use multiple classes, you can just use it like that. Okay, so this comes very handy, right? Okay, now the other thing that we might need to do is okay, if you want to add a color, not like the red, but you want to get from your theme, right? From your theme something like this color or any default color from the Tailwind. uh, there are few ways of doing that also, and let me show few ways. So there is always multiple ways of doing thing, right? So one way is you can just get this is just simple JavaScript. Okay, so you can provide as const, you can get your colors, let's say, and then you can say required, and then you can get that color from Tailwind css slash color. Okay, now this way, in this variable, you will get the colors, theme colors from the Tailwind. Okay, and then you can use these colors over here, but this is we are providing as a string. So to use this variable, what we can do is we can remove this double quotation and use this backquote or something, what you call it, I don't know. Okay, I forgot what we call this. Backtick, I think. All right, so you can use that, and then you can remove this, and you can use that variable by simply doing a dollar sign and this curly bracket, and this is just simple JavaScript. And then you also can get that reference, that color reference from here, and you can say you want to use, let's say, what I using, I want to use red. Okay, red, and from red I want to use this 500, right? You can provide red like this, and if you save, see, there is a change that we are getting it from this colors, Tailwind theme color, and then we are applying this color. Okay, so if you want to check out, if I put 900, there should be some darker red. Okay, see, so this is changing, right? So we are getting this color from Tailwind theme. Okay, and the other way we can get the color is, okay, so little bit we have to do JavaScript over here. Okay, let me make it little bit in different lines so we can see it properly. Okay, so let's say, all right, so we are using linear gradient to top, and we are using this red. Now we want to change this blue, but the other way of adding the theme color from theme is you can provide this background image, and we can provide it as a function also. Something we can do is we can provide the theme over here. Okay, so it might be little bit difficult for you to follow this if you do not know any JavaScript. Okay, but this is simply a little bit JavaScript, and if you are know little bit of JavaScript, it kind of makes sense. So we are just providing this background image now, not at the object but as a function which return this object. Okay, okay, this brackets, this bracket, whatever is inside it, that will be returned. Okay, so we are returning this object. Okay, and we are passing this theme to this function. Okay, now we can use this theme If you do not want to do something like this, you can use this one, okay? Otherwise you don't have to. I just want to simply provide some other alternatives if you want to learn. So okay, so now we can use that theme over here. And how we want to use, okay, let's say I want to get the blue color from the Tailwind default theme or something like that. If you want us do that, you can just say theme, okay, and we wanna get colors, okay, from theme. And which colors you want? You want blue, okay, and from the blue you can just again say like maybe 500, and simply change this also to 500, okay. And if I save it, okay, now there is a blue over here on the top that we are getting from this theme, okay. So this theme we are getting it from here. So that's how you can provide the function also that returns the object to this background image, okay. You can do this way also. All right, so we are just getting this blue from the Tailwind default theme, okay. Now what if I want to get this my color and this our custom color? The other way that we can do that is, let me just add another color. So there is 3 colors in the gradient. So let me just do simply like this, and you can get that also from this theme, but you can provide it as a like that. And here you can provide the string, and you can say, okay, what we want from colors, okay, we want these colors, and we get what we get from the color, my colors, okay. Okay, now we are getting my color from here, okay, and dot. And what we are do we want to get maybe 100 or 200, whichever color you want, maybe 100. If you save it, let's say, okay, you get the another green color over here that we are getting from this theme, and this theme is getting that color from here, our custom color, okay. So these are the way I find that we can use to get theme color, okay. So whichever method you like, you can use it, okay. So this is the one way of adding, by adding this variable over here. Other ways, just getting this theme from the function, okay, providing from the function, okay. All right, I think you get the idea. All right, now what else we can do here? Here up to here, this is a background. So what else customization we can do from the theme? So the other thing that we can do here is, maybe the other example might be something like screen, okay. So you can say screens, and here you can provide object, and maybe you want a small screen breakpoints, right? You can define some breakpoints for your project, okay. There is already breakpoint provided by the Tailwind, that is small, medium, large, XL or something, right? And but if you are not happy with those breakpoints, you can add your one custom breakpoints, okay. So simply, if you said something like smallest, maybe 600 px or something, and then maybe something like largest, okay, something like that, okay. Maybe this will be applied only on the 1800 px or something like that. If you do that, and let's come over here and to see the it in action. Let's say you want this busy gradient to be applied only on the smallest screen size. So you can just provide smallest, smallest, like that. And if you see here, this Tailwind added this class and this style to this class, right? Okay, so whatever we provided to top, and we get the 3 colors, right? And we get the black background image linear gradient. This is the style that will be added, right, for this smallest size. So if I save it, okay, now let me just come to this my browser and see if I get smaller than the 600 px the screen size, the breakpoints, then that style will not be added. But if I get it larger than 600 px, it will be added, right? Okay, so it should be mean width of 600 px to be to add this style. Okay, that's how we can define our screen breakpoints. Okay, and let me just get that back to over here, and then you can use this largest also similarly. Okay, you get the idea. Okay, similarly you can use if you want the whatever sizes you can want to describe, whatever name you can provide here, that's up to you. Okay, you should not be smallest or largest, this is the name you can provide. Okay, and any breakpoints you want, you can provide it here. Simple. Okay, the other thing that we can do on this theme is maybe let me think of the example. Maybe font size. I think we can do font size. Maybe font size, you want to do not want to use the default font size and you want to have your own custom font size. You can say something like that, font size, and then maybe small. Okay, small font size, maybe 1 rem or something, or that will work. Maybe large or something, maybe that will be 3 rem or something. And if you save it and come over here in app, and if you say, let's say text size I want from small. Okay, so this SM is default one, but we created this text small. If you use it, it's 1 rem, so you will not get any difference from there. But if you say this is large, you can see we have this style added, 3 rem added from this class name. So the Tailwind is adding this text large as font size 3 rem style. Okay, so that's how you can do it. Okay, let me just show one more thing. So if you want to add line height to it, you can do it on same here. You do not have to provide another style. Also I see you can do something like you want a 3 rem, but the line height you want to be the 5 rem. So you can provide this as an array also. Okay, something like this, and the first value will be the size of the text, and this 5 rem will be line height. And if you save it, I think line height should increase or something like that. Did it increase? It should increase. Maybe make it 15 so we can see it. So yeah, the line height is increased because we define it as a 15 rem. So if you want to check it here, see the line height is 15 rem over here. So you can provide it as a array also, something like that, and the first value is text size and the second value is line height. So this is the way you can provide your font size also. Okay, for now that is good. Let's just remove this and make it 3 rem. Just make it 3 rem for now. That is not that looking bad. Let me just make it 5 rem. Okay, okay, so you can do something like that. Okay, or let's just remove this class from here. Okay, so what else we want to do here? So let me wrap up our theme customization. You get the idea. You can do lots of things. You can also, let me show few other things that you can do here. Maybe you can add some font family also. Font family, you can add it, and you can say provide my font family or something like that. Okay, whatever name you want to give it, and you can provide your as a string the first value as a you can say name of your font. Okay, so whatever font you want to add to your Tailwind, you can put it. So you go to the Google font, you add the font and just reference it from the Tailwind like this font family, and you want to use this. And if you wanna fallback font family, you just add it here. Okay, maybe you want sans serif or something like that. This will be, fallback font family, and you can provide your fonts over here. Okay, so you can get font from Google font or somewhere, and then you can add the name over here, and that font will be applied to the Tailwind. Okay, this is the one thing you can do. And the other thing, maybe you can define the spacing. Okay, spacing, so margin or other thing like padding, gaps, they use the spacing. So you wanna your customize spacing for your project, you can do by from this spacing. Other thing you can do is maybe border radius. I think you can do something like this, and then you can define the different border radius for your project. If you are wanna do that, you can do that. You can do opacity, something like that, and so you can provide it as an object over here, and you whatever you provide the value over here, that you can use in your Tailwind project. So depending on your project, you can add different theme for your project. Okay, now that we learn how to add a custom style to the Tailwind through this theme, let's see another method of adding custom uh, style to the Tailwind, that is using arbitrary values. Okay, so how we can do that? Okay, let's open this app.txt file, and uh, so in Tailwind we can do something. If we want a width, we can just say width dash, and then we can select any of this pre-made or default Tailwind classes to define our width, right? So we have from 0 to up to 96 over here, right? And that if I say w-96, it will add like 384 px of width with the property css property to the our element, right? So what if I want something that is not provided in Tailwind? Okay, so something like maybe I want width of 500 px for this div. Okay, so how we can do it? The one way we can do that is we can write just w dash, that will say we want to add a width, and then we can use this square bracket, and we can provide any arbitrary values to it. Okay, so something like if you want to 500 px, we can just say 500 px over here, and this is any value that you want to provide, right? And if we hover here, we can see that Tailwind already added this class with the property that width is 500 px. So if we save now, then it will change our width to the 500 px, right? So this is the way we can provide any custom value to the whatever property we want. Okay, so not only with to the width, you can do that with height also, and something like for the background also we can do. Let's provide the color to it. Okay, so any color, let's say, I don't know, let's say black color, or I don't know, maybe something green. Okay, if or save it, and we already have this one is applied, so let's remove this for now. Okay, and if I remove that and save it, so we have this background, and we provided this through this arbitrary values, right? So whatever values we want, we provide within this square bracket, and that value will be added to the uh, background. Okay, so the Tailwind in the background, they added this class that will add this as a background. So now what else we can do with that? Okay, so let's see some other examples. So we can do text. Maybe I want text of 24px. Okay, so if I save it, we get the 24px of text font size. So text uh, 24 at this font size 24px for the css, right? And then we also can do text. Maybe we want a different color. Maybe let's say uh, let's just put the black for now. So there is no change, but I want to show you something with this. Okay, so if you see here, we are getting font size, but if I see here, it is giving the style of color. So Tailwind is so smart, right? So if I provide something like related to the length, okay, the px is related to the length, right? So it is automatically adding the font size. And if I say some text dash color, some provided some color, it automatically know we are providing color value, so it is adding it as a color property over here. Okay, so this text is as a kind of common namespace we can use to map to different css property, right? So for the font size also, and for the font color also. Okay, so even we provided the just the value, it knows that we can it knows what value we want and what property we want it to be added. Okay, so Tailwind's that is smart. Okay, and let me show one other example over here. Not only the value, but if you have something like let's say some global variable of css. Okay, something like let's say root, and let's say you have a uh, let's say primary color. Okay, something like that, and let's just provide this green over here. So 00ff00. Okay, so if you have something like that, even this one you can use it over here. Okay, so in the background over here, if you want, I want to change it. Let's change it to the yeah, let's change over here. So if I want to change it over here, you don't have to write the var also. Directly you can provide the name of the your variable, css variable. So that will be primary color. That I think that is the name I provide. So still no change over here, because we that is what we had before. So let me make it blue or something. Maybe if I do that, it's became blue. So that's how I can change it to the primary, use the variable in the as a arbitrary values over here, right? So let's change the text to has fff, so that it looks little bit nice. Okay, so one more interesting thing I want to show you is let me add another variable over here. That will be dash dash, maybe font size or something. Okay, something like that, or let's do it like this, so that we have similarly. And font size is like 24px. Okay, so let's save it, and I name it font size. So I can just add that variable over here, and I can say font and size. Oh, size. Okay, and then I can say over here primary color. Okay, Now it is showing error. Before, Tailwind was so smart that it can figure out what value we provided over here. But when we provide this as a variable, go from the CSS variable, it trying to add a color to it. When even we are providing the font size as a picture, and text we are providing primary color, it is work okay, but it is trying to add the color in both scenario, right? Because it doesn't know what kind of value we are getting from this variable. Okay, so if we are using something like that, common namespace to map out the different CSS properties, something like this text, what we can do here is we can say, okay, what kind of value we are providing, length. So length, we are providing length. So if we denote that we are providing length in this value, now Tailwind know that we are providing the okay, yes, no, I misspell it, sorry. So we are providing the length to it. So now the Tailwind is smart that we are providing length value. So now it is adding font size to this variable, right? And then if you want to specify to this color also, it is automatically added to the color. But if you still want to provide it to know that, to tell the Tailwind that you are providing color value, you can just add the color over here like this, and the Tailwind know that we are providing length over here, length value, and we are providing color value, and then um, uh, the particular CSS property for that will be added, right? So if we are providing length, it will add the font size, and if we are providing color, it will add the color, text color for the our element. Okay, so that was little bit interesting. Okay, not only for this arbitrary values, but this square bracket can also be used for using arbitrary properties. Okay, so something like if there is a property that are not included in Tailwind, uh, we can use this square bracket to add that property to the Tailwind. Okay, so what I mean by that is, let me just remove these two classes from here first, and then for example we can use this square bracket, and let's say I don't remember any uh, CSS property that are not included in the Tailwind in my top of head, but for example we can use font size. Okay, let's say if there is no property, CSS property that is we can style with the Tailwind. Okay, so let's say for example, okay, so we can also say font size, and let's say I want it to have be like 24 px. So if I save it, this just works. Okay, so this font size 24 px, this one Tailwind created the class with the font size 24 px. So we can do something like this. Okay, so why would we want to do this? Because it looks so ugly, right? So we are using whole CSS property right here, but the advantage of doing this is you can use these classes with the Tailwind modifier. Okay, so for example, if we want this font size to 24 property to be only added in, let's say, on the larger screen size, and we provide this breakpoint. Okay, so only above this 1024 px, if we want this property to apply, then we can use this, right? So not only with this breakpoint, also we can use that with the hover. So this is the huge advantage, that we can get the Tailwind modifier to work with this CSS property. Okay, so this is only for the example. This is not that we can use in our project, but for example, if you want to do something like, if you find something property, CSS property that are not available in Tailwind class, then we can even do this also. Okay, so another thing that I wanna show here is something like, let's say you want to target any paragraphs direct children of this div, and provide the style for it. So what you can do is you can just provide this square brackets and say, write this and then direct children of this paragraph of children of this div, and you want it to have some property, then you can also say something like takes uh, 2xl. Okay, let me just add that. So this 2xl property is added to the direct children of this div. Direct children means the paragraph children, because we this p in means the paragraph. So this direct children or paragraph of this div is this one p. So this is getting this style takes dash 2xl, that is 24px. So only this paragraph is having getting that style, right? And this paragraph is not getting that style because this is a grandchild, not the direct child of this div. Okay, so you can do something like this also. Okay, and this is how we can use the arbitrary properties with these square brackets. Okay, another way of adding custom style to your Tailwind is by using add layer directive. Okay, so what that mean is, let's see with the example. Okay, so if you come to your CSS file, okay, and you've created something like a class or something, class, let's say some my takes or something. Okay, so here if you say font size, and you define like a font size for it. Okay, and if you save it and come over here, and if you use that, okay, over here, let's say we want to use my text that we just created, and this will just work fine, right? But this is not the Tailwind way of doing it, because you are creating the just CSS, right? So this, the problem with this approach is, now you cannot use any other Tailwind functionality like a modifier or something. So for example, if you have a breakpoint, let's say in the large screen, you want to add this my text, this we cannot do it because this my text is not added to the Tailwind system, right? So you cannot do like that, or something you cannot do like, let's say hover, or when hover this div, I want my text. No, you cannot do that because we are, this is just the CSS. Okay, so it is not added to the Tailwind. So the way we can do it in the Tailwind is by using add layer directive. When you can use that in our CSS file, and you can just say add layer, and you can add the style to these three different section. Okay, so at first let's talk about this base. So base is usually if you want to style the base of the any element, like let's say h1 for example, and you say want font size to be let's say 48px or something like that. So any base style you want, that you want to have the custom style to it, properties to it, then you just put declare here at layer base, and then provide that base style over here like this. Okay, and other one is you can to at layer, and you can provide the style for the component, and component means something like a card, container, button, right? So you have multiple properties over here. For now, for example, propose, let's say font size, and uh, let's say font size to be 24px or something like that, and then let's say width, width 300 px, okay, for example. Okay, so some, if you have something like this component, you can provide it in the component. Okay, and you can also do at layer utilities. And utilities means something like, let's say you want to have width of 600 class, that will add width property, and that will be like 600 px. Okay, so this is something like width, we want to add 600 px height or something like that. Okay, so this is utility, and let's save it and let's see how it works here. So if the base is already working, because all the base style for h1 is already added, right? So we said it should be 45, that is already added. And now the advantage of doing this way, using this add layer directive, is now you can use that classes with these modifiers. Okay, so if you want to do something like lg, and let's just put this with our custom class, that is with 500, I think we created, and you save it. Did that add it? Okay, I have 600, not 500. So let me just change it to 600. Now we have 600 px of width of these elements, and then if you want to add it to the large screen only with that modifier, you can do it. You can say hover, then only we get this width 600 property, then whenever you hover you can get it. So we are using Tailwind this modifier to these classes. So because we added this to the Tailwind through this at layer directive, right? Okay, so this is how we can do it. And the idea is, the base is for the elements like h1, paragraph, div, or anything that you want to have the base style of, you can do that here. So components is, as it says components, some components like button or something, if you are creating and using on multiple place, you can write the css property over here and use it. Okay, and utility means some is one or two simple css property that only added to it. Okay, so another thing that I want to mention is, by doing this, the one another advantage is like this component style will always override this base style. Okay, and this utility class will override this style, base style and component style. So what that mean by that is, if this h1 is already having this 48 px, right? And if I say come over here and I say class name, let's say, what name I gave it here? Okay, card, right? So I gave the name card. So if I say card, then the size of this h1 tag is changed, because this font size 24 will override this font size 48 px. Okay, and if I just added this same thing, same style, font size over here, and let's say, I don't know, let's say, let's make a little bit bigger so that we can see, maybe 86 px or something. Okay, so if I do that and I come over here and add that w 600 class over here, this will override. Okay, so this utility will override this component style also. Okay, so the so you know which style will override which. So component override the base and the utility override the base and component style properties. Okay, so this is the another way of adding custom style to the Tailwind by using this add layer directive. Okay, another way of adding a custom style to the Tailwind is through the plugins. Okay, so we can come to this tailwind.config.js, and then you can see here plugins. We can now add plugins over here, which will add the style to the Tailwind. Okay, so to do so, let me just first get this. Let me copy this, paste it over here, and we can get the plugin. Plugin plugin. Okay, so this is the way we can get the plugin. Now that plugin we can use it over here in this array. So I can say plugin, and then I can provide a function over here. Okay, and function should be written like this. Okay, so this is the function, and from this function we can get few things. So let's deconstruct it. So we can get add base, add components, add utilities. What else we get? We get theme, and we get add variants. We get match component, match utility, and match variant. Okay, so just let me just provide an example for one of these. So let me just use this match utilities. Okay, so we will see all the example for it and how we gonna use this. Okay, so we can change or add style to the Tailwind through these. Okay, so how we can do it? Let me just give the example for this add variant first. Okay, so if you come back over here in our design, and you see that we use something like this, right? And it kind of, if you are using this everywhere, it kind of like unreadable, right? So what we can do is, let me just come over here, back here, and we can provide a name for that. Okay, name variant. Okay, so if I say child or something like that, and I will say this should mean that this selector, right? So parent, and that's its direct paragraph child, right? So now if I come back, if save it and come back over here, now I can change that to child. Now Tailwind understand that this means, it's already added this appropriate class to it, right? So this child means we are selecting the direct paragraph, child paragraph of this element. Okay, so this container. Okay, uh, now the cool thing about is we also can do something like this now. Okay, let me show you. Add variant, let me just use that, and let's say child hover or something like that. If I say child hover, it should mean parent. If I hover to it, then we should select the child, paragraph child of it, that parent. Okay, so if I save it, now I can come over here, and let me just remove some of the previous styles, so we will get the clean style. Let me just remove this one also, doesn't matter. Okay, so now what we can do is, on this style, let's say the text has some let's say green color or something like that, and but when I hover the parent, so we can say child hover effect, right? So when we get the hover to this div, then we will get to style this paragraph. Okay, so we can say takes rate 500 or something like that, and now we get this green color, right? But when I hover to this parent, this is changing. Okay, see? So this is kind of cool trick, because sometimes it is difficult to add a hover on the parent and change it to the its children, right? So now this is the way we can also do this. Okay, now let's see the another example for this add base. Okay, let's see how we can do that add base. So add base, so what this add base means is the same thing that we did here, by this add layer directive, right? So we change the style for this base, we change the style for this component, we create the component over here. Similarly, this we can do. If you don't want to do it in the css file, we can do that in the plugins, right? So through plugins. So let me just comment this out, and we will create the similar things over there on the our plugins. Okay, let me just save it, and then I can come over here, and in the base we can say something. We have to provide object, and then in the h1, okay, so h1 tag, I want to have a color green, red, or something like that, right? So I think you have to provide this as a string. So if you save it, h1, you can see here it's already red over here. Okay, okay, and maybe font size, or you can also do like this, maybe 24 px. Let me make it a little bit larger. Okay, so in the base for h1 tag, you can provide the style for it. Okay, so that's how the add base work. Okay, another is, let's say, add component. Okay, similar, same thing. You can do something like this and provide it like this. Why this one is showing me error? Okay, I put it inside this base, but I have to take it outside. So this base in here, so I have to put it here, add components over here, and we can do something like this. Okay, now here you can say something like whatever class you want to create, you can create. Let's say card again, and then I can provide the style for it. Maybe width, I want to change the width, and then width should be like 500 px or something, and maybe background should be something like maybe blue. Okay, uh, what is this asking? Okay, I forgot the comma, I guess. Okay, if I save it, and if I come over here and add that to here and say this is a card, okay, and we get that card, and if I save it, so all of the property that we put it over here, so it should be width of 500, it is width of 500. Now background should be blue, and we got that blue background here, right? So what if you do not want to use this blue color, but you want to get the color from your theme, okay, from the Tailwind theme? So what you can do is, for that is, you can use this theme that we are getting from the plugins here. Okay, and then you can just simply change this blue to, let's say, theme. You can use that theme and provide the string over here, and saying you want the theme of color, and you want blue from there, and maybe let's give a little bit lighter color, maybe 100. Okay, so if you save it, you see the different color over here. Now we are getting this from the theme that we are using here, right? So we are getting this theme from Tailwind theme, default theme. Okay, so this is how you can reference the theme color. Okay, and we did this add vary component. Let's do another one, maybe add utilities or something. Okay, same thing that we did in this one. Okay, if you do not want to use the css in the css, you just can add it over here. Okay, through this config.js file, tailwind config.js file. So now what we can do is from add these utilities, and let's do similarly like this, but what we can do here with this add utilities. Okay, let me just add one width. So I think we can do something with 500. Okay, so I want to create this with 500 utility. Then we just can provide this here of property of width and maybe 500 px. Okay, now if I use this one, we get the 500 px of width. Okay, let me just remove from here. So save it, and now I want to use this with 500 that over here. So now it should be 500 px of width. So now we can use with 500, and that should be added. So didn't added. Okay, so what's wrong? So I need to provide this dot sign to let this is a class, right? So I forgot this dot. So if I save it, yeah, now we get the width of 500 through this utilities. Okay, yeah, because we added this w-500 utility that provide the property css property with 500 px to this element. Okay, so that's how we can do it. Now the last example I want to show on this video maybe is this match utilities. I think I use match utilities. Yeah, okay, so let me give the example for that. Okay, so how and why we want to use match utilities. So here add utilities, we are just providing the the values to it, right? So 500 px we have hard coded values, we provided it. But what if you want to provide that some dynamic values? Okay, so from this match utilities you can provide the dynamic values also. Okay, so the way we can do here, that is, you can just provide here like this object. In this object you can define the name of your class. Okay, so maybe you want, let's say, tone. Let me create a one tu tone class that will get the value. Okay, value, and that value we have to provide as a function, right? Okay, this is a class that we're gonna create, and this will take the function, and that function will also return the object. Okay, so object, and that object will be, let's say, css property that will be transform and backtick over here, rotate. And why we did backtick is when we use this value in the javascript, we can say $, and then now we can use this variable over here like this as a string, and then we can just say value over here. Okay, so this tron will take this function and we can provide this value, and then this value will be adding this property, and the value will be added over here. Okay, and now the another thing we need to do here is we need to provide the values. Okay, something like that. Okay, so values. Okay, now we have to provide the values, and then and we let me just show you one if it's working or not first. Okay, so if you want to get the values from the default Tailwind, then you can say theme. Okay, theme, and then we are getting the theme from rotate. Okay, and I am still getting this error. Let me check what is going on. Okay, it should be comma. Oh, okay, sorry about that. It should be on the object. Okay, let me put it on the object so that it will not give us error. Okay, all right. So now you have to provide it as an object, and you can say values, and you are getting the values from this rotate, that from the tailwind, right? If I save it, I can use this turn, and let me show that first. I can use this turn, and I can use the rotate value from the tailwind, right? 0, 1, 2, 3, 6, 12, 45, 90, 180. I think that's the value we are getting from the tailwind rotate. Okay, so if I say turn 12, we can turn it 12. So why we are using like that is, now we can add our own degree value also over here by providing this uh, in a object. Okay, so now in our this object we can say, let's get the all the values of theme rotate. And if you are somebody don't know the JavaScript, I'm sorry, because it is the JavaScript way of saying that any of the values from the tailwind, just add it over here. Okay, so if you do not know basic JavaScript, just use this method. This is just working fine. Okay, I'm just trying to show the different ways you can use, and this one is using little bit more JavaScript. Okay, anyway, if you want to learn the web development, you need to learn the JavaScript in some point, right? So if you want to start with this also, but this is just the basic JavaScript I am doing. Okay, if somebody not watching uh, don't know about the JavaScript, this is some simple JavaScript. Okay, so this means we can add the rotate theme, from theme all the values, and I want to add some more values, my own values, right? So let's say I want a 15 that we do not get from rotate, and now we can say 15 degree. When I say 15, that should mean 15 degree. Maybe I want to add this 30 degree values, and that will say 30 deg. And then I can say maybe 60. I think they have 60 degree value, so I can provide 60 deg. So if I want these, and if I save it, now if you go over here, now we have other values over there also. So you can see we have 15, 30, we have 60 over here. Whatever we provide the value over there, it will be added in the tailwind. So now if I use this 15 and save it, now we get 15 degree of the turn, right? So we added the new values to this rotate. Okay, now, and this will added the this CSS property to the tailwind. Okay, so let's go overview this what we talk in this video. Okay, so there are few ways of adding this custom style to the tailwind. Okay, so I think we discussed 5 methods in total. So the first method is just adding the style to this through this theme, right? You can add your style, background image, and other things over here in the theme. You can provide the different style that you need in your project over here. Okay, that's the one method. Second method we learn about is this adding I think I deleted it, but the second method was using the arbitrary values, right? So something like width and this width dash, what is going on? Let me make it full. Okay, so if I want to make the width dash this square bracket, and I can provide the values over here directly like this. Okay, so this is called using arbitrary values, right? So that is the second method. And in the similarly fashion, you can use the arbitrary properties, something like in this square bracket you can write font size, something like that, and maybe you cannot give the space, but you can say font size 50 px or something. Okay, so this will also add the tailwind style, right? And that is the method of using arbitrary properties. Okay, so this is the third method. And the other method was using this add layer directive, right? And this is a fourth method that we can use, right? So here you can use add layer base, add layer component, and layer utilities to add the corresponding style to the tailwind system. Okay, so this was the fourth method. And the fifth method and the last method we discussed was adding style to the tailwind through these plugins. Okay, so these are the all the methods that are available in the tailwind system, and very useful if you know all of these basics, and you can use in different scenario. I think this will conclude my video for now. Thank you for watching.